Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Basham, Racha HaKodash, double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and peace and salutation as always to the elect. All right, and this is the Vine's expository dictionary of the New Testament words. All right, the Old Time Gospel, our edition. All right, and the Spirit had it to where as I was doing my workout, I have a box of books that I, used to read, back when I first came into the truth. And the Spirit had me to look into it. And this was the first book pulled out along with another book. Secondly, I pulled out going into the Renaissance. So I'm going to read some of that. But, the Spirit had, earlier the Elder Yatazak to go into the different meanings of Mark in the Bible. Now, this is only dealing with the New Testament. All right, but I wanted to read this, and we'll just go straight to Mark. It says, I'll just get close up on it. It says Mark, okay, the first word it goes into is charagma. It said denotes a stamp, impress. All right, it says translated Mark in Revelation 13, 16, and 17. All right, it says see graven. All right, graven. It says see graven. All right, so charagma, as we know in Revelation 13 and 16 through 17, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark, all right, in their right hand or in their forehead, all right. And this is something physical. You have particular men promoting this crap that the mark is something spiritual in dealing with a philosophy when that has everything to do with the image of the beast. All right. And we understand that a part of his philosophy is to actually, imprint something graven inside of you. And he's the artificer, okay, of this time. And the graven thing that he's going to try to put inside of you or impress inside of you is a microchip. So let's go to graven. Okay. And where are we at? Graven. All right. Now, graven, it goes directly to charagma. Okay. It says from charaso, to engrave. All right. To impress. Okay. Hebrews 1 and 3, it says denotes a mark or a stamp. All right. A thing graven. Okay. So this is a graven image. Okay, and we understand that the graven image that they seek to put inside of you, all right, charagma, all right, is the microchip, according to that prophecy that we read. This is what John the Revelator saw on the Isle of Patmos when he received that vision. Now, the second, okay, is stigma, okay, which we understand when you see that it says, here's wisdom, this is the number of a man, and the number of that man is 666, which we can look around and clearly see that 666 is attached to this current wicked rulership, this current wicked priesthood. Okay. And as you see here, it says stigma, it says denotes a tattooed mark or a mark burnt in a brand. So this is something physical dealing with the skin. Okay, you have these teachers now, as we'll show you, there's other words for mark, as the priest Yatazak beautifully went into earlier, and we'll go into a few of those. But dealing with this mark of the beast, all right, charagma and stigma, all right, were mentioned specifically. There was no other word for mark, all right, and then you had shy stigma. All right. And what is stigma? As we see here, it said it denotes a tattooed mark or burnt in a brand. OK. Stizo, to prick. Translated marks in Galatians 6 and 17, when Paul speaks about the marks that he received. All right. From those of the circumcision. All right. in Jerusalem, the Judaizers who hated his doctrine because he was preaching the Messiah, and they were stuck in that new covenant. I mean, that first covenant, which was the law, man. It is probable that the apostle refers to the physical sufferings, which when you physically get beat, what does it leave on your body? A mark. Okay, there was a Tyson Fury fight a couple of weeks ago, and he got hit in the eye, and what did it leave? He got a cut. You see, he had a cut on his eye. It says it is probable that the apostle refers to the physical sufferings he had to endure. All right, since he began to proclaim Yahushua as the Messiah and Lord. All right. It says at Lystra and Philippi, he got beat a few times for his doctrine. Okay, as did other apostles and prophets. It says it is probable too that this reference is to his scars. His scars. All right, his scars was intended to set off the instance of the Judaizers, which were a group of men teaching that you had to be circumcised after a manner of Moses to be saved. All right. Up on a body mark, which cost them nothing. All right. Over against the circumcision they demanded as proof of obedience to the law. All right. Meaning you had to, circumcise yourself to be saved. All right. And it says they demanded as proof of obedience to the law. He set, all right, the indelible tokens, all right, sustained in his own body. It says of his loyalty to the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. As to the origin, all right, as to the origin of the figure, it was indeed customary for a master to brand his slaves. But this language does not suggest that the apostle had been branded by his master. OK, he was just speaking of the physical marks he endured for. All right. Preaching Yahushua, man. It says soldier and criminals were also branded on occasion. All right. And that's going to happen in this time as well. All right. Particular men and women are going to take the mark of the beast to get early releases. That's been on legislation. Talked about to be put in law. It says, but to neither of these is the case of Paul, all right, as here described, analogous. Now, when you go to Revelation 13, when it's speaking of a particular mark that this beast, all right, would force or try to force men and women to get, and this mark would take over the process of buying and selling, it is speaking of something that would be a graven image, as I should say, that will be put inside of you. All right. But as we read Galatians 6, all right, that word mark, which is stigma. All right. When you go to the meaning of it, all right, as we've done various times, it lets you know exactly what this is saying, that there was an ancient custom that, masters branded their slaves. OK, and with this mark of the beast, all right, that's coming. All right. That's what Esau, Edom, and these heathen are trying to do. They're trying to brand you and put their name on you. OK, it says soldiers and criminals also were branded on occasion, but to neither of these is the case of Paul. All right, as here described, analogous. All right, it says the religious devotee branded himself with a particular mark of the God whose cult, all right, he affected. It says, so was Paul branded with the marks of his devotion to Yahushua, okay, which was those marks, all right, which was physically, all right, when he was physically beaten. It said, it is true, all right, it is true such markings were forbidden by the law, Leviticus 19:28, all right, but then Paul had not inflicted these on himself, okay, so putting, things inside of your body, all right, is forbidden by the law, man. OK, it says the marks of Yahushua cannot be taken to the marks which the Lord bears in his body in consequence to the crucifixion. They were different in character. Okay, so as a teacher, okay, you have to understand the meaning of these words, all right, as you read these scriptures. You can't just jump to scriptures without getting the meaning of the words. You can't just throw out the mark in Ezekiel 9:4 and try to link it to this. All right, we have to break these things down. Now, when Paul brought out the marks that he suffered in his body, he was speaking of physical, all right, stripes that he, got, just as Yahushua received physical stripes. They put thorns on his head, they beat him, and what? He was bleeding. Okay, he basically, all right, had marks on his body. He was, they nailed his hand to the wood, but when you read Revelation, all right, 13 on down, 13:16 on down, is speaking of charagma, all right, a graven image put inside of you, okay? And a stigma, as we read here, denotes a tattooed mark or a mark burnt in, all right, or branded. You see? So clearly we see, all right, and it says see graven here, and we understand that a graven image, all right, the graven image of this time that he's going to try to put in you is the RFID microchip, man. And there's other words for mark, all right, scopos, okay, a watcher, to watch someone, all right, metaphorically. You have a peko, to hold up on, all right, to hold out on the word of life, then hold one's mind towards, to observe, marked, all right, and then you have scopeo, to look at, behold, watch, warning against those who cause divisions. You mark those which cause division. All right. So clearly we see that the mark that our forefather John, the Revelator, all right, as he gave this prophecy, spoke about and that he saw in a vision was a mark, something physical that would be given, all right, to put inside of you, which is why it's high size stigma. Okay, 666. He's going to try to put his carnal blessing inside of you. Okay, it's clear as day. He's going to try to put something graven. He's the artificer. Okay, he's going to try to put this inside of you. Clear as day. All right. And this has been Vine's Expository Dictionary of the New Testament, the Old Time Gospel Hour edition. Lord willing, there will be more to come. Shalom.